It began with wedding bells, and a woman who could make them ring louder than fate itself. London's most revered matchmaker, Miss Laura Pendleton, had done it again. A blissful couple joined in matrimony, thanks entirely to her expert hand. But just as the veil lifted, came Lord Fairfax, striding through the petals and prosecco. "Miss Pendleton," he asked, "would you consider befriending my cousin, Mr. Ian Dalton of Whitefield? He's in need of your unmatched talents." Laura, ever poised, smiled. "I would be honored." Back at Pendleton House, grandmother poured tea and praise in equal measure, admiring Laura's gift for uniting hearts. "But what of your own heart, dear?" she asked softly. "Still mourning the one who left?" Laura's smile faltered. "It's rather late, grandmamma. Shall we retire?" But in her candlelit room she whispered a prayer, for peace, not love. That ship had sailed 12 long years ago. Weeks passed. Then came London's whispers. Mr. Ian Dalton had arrived, eligible, enigmatic, and utterly uninterested. Invitations piled high, all declined without a flicker of charm, until his cousin hatched a clever plan. "You'll attend the ball, Ian. I have. An ally." "An ally?" Ian scoffed. Under glittering chandeliers, Miss Pendleton stood in grace. Ian arrived, already muttering disdain. But when introduced, something changed. "He doesn't believe in arrangements," Fairfax chuckled. "Only in destiny." Ian's replies were cold, calculated, razor-sharp. And Laura? Intrigued. He was unlike any gentleman she'd met, rude, clever, but honest. And she? A master of verbal fencing. "You're a good brother, Mr. Dalton. You can't argue that." He took her hand, kissed it. "Then I shall enjoy your company, Miss Pendleton. The pleasure will be mutual." But then, disaster. "You must dance," she urged him. "I can't," he confessed. "Truly, I never learned. Boys were sweaty." Laura blinked. "Good heavens." Quickly she turned to Fairfax. "Is he a fast learner?" "Very." In one elegant motion she seized Ian's hands. "Then follow me." Step by step, tension melted. The crowd watched, stunned. A man made of marble was moving. As they left the floor, she asked, "Truly, why didn't you learn to dance?" "Because I do not enjoy holding sweaty boys," Ian replied dryly. Laura laughed, against her better judgment. Soon after, she introduced him to others. Her job, after all, was matchmaking, not moon-gazing. "Visit me sometime, Mr. Dalton," she said to Fairfax, as she prepared to leave. And in her thoughts, surely he'll fall for Miss Lance. They'd be a perfect London power couple. But just as her carriage door closed, a voice called out. "Mr. Dalton," breathless, stopping her. "Miss Pendleton." She turned. "Mr. Dalton, is everything all right? You should be dancing with someone else by now." A cheeky smirk tugged at his lips. "But you were my first dance partner. Shouldn't you say goodbye before leaving me to fend for myself?" Laura blinked, then chuckled. "I apologize. Since we'll meet again soon, I thought a farewell unnecessary." "Meet again?" "Yes. My grandmother and I host weekly gatherings for young ladies and gentlemen. I'll send you the details." He took her hand and kissed it. Again. "Tomorrow, then." Laura, startled, managed a soft, "Looking forward to it." As the carriage pulled away, her thoughts stirred. He kissed my hand again, and he said, "Tomorrow?" For someone who dislikes gatherings, he's showing quite the enthusiasm. A few days passed, and then, on a rainy afternoon, he came. Mr. Dalton stood at the Pendleton threshold, hair dampened, coat soaked, and yet still impeccable. They sipped tea in the drawing room, steam curling between silences. Laura watched him. "He doesn't know the true purpose of my mission, matchmaking, nor that I believed he only wanted friendship, and perhaps a little company. He visits when I perform, but he's never shown interest in anyone else. If Mr. Fairfax knew, he'd be most displeased." But as the rain drummed gently outside, they spoke. Of Whitefield, Ian's beloved estate, of his wild green childhood, of nieces, nephews, She could tell he cherished that place. He cherished family, and something in Laura warmed. One morning, a new suggestion. Shall we take a walk? Maybe a picnic? Laura raised an eyebrow. Her maid Anne raised both. A picnic, milady? Either he's trying to steal our family cook, or he's falling for you. Laura laughed. Anne, no, he doesn't look at me like that. But Anne, folding a napkin with suspicion, thought, maybe, milady, because you're not looking that way, either. Strolling through the streets, Laura glanced at him, then admitted, I have a confession. I've been secretly trying to set you up with my friends. She flushed, deeply embarrassed. I promised Mr. Fairfax I wouldn't say that aloud. Ian paused, then burst into laughter. Laura, confused, frowned. You already knew? He grinned shamelessly. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at your purity. Her cheeks flamed, her eyes wide. He softened. But truly, it's all right. I'm not upset. I've simply come to realize I don't want arrangements anymore. Oh, perhaps I'm not waiting for destiny either. Destiny sounds a bit too grand for me. I just hope to meet someone, naturally, honestly. As the day drew to dusk, he walked her home. But just before turning to leave, he stopped. Miss Pendleton, has William Fairfax ever courted you? She stared. Mr. Dalton? That is a very improper question. He smiled, almost triumphant. You're opposing it quite strongly. That's good. Then with a quiet nod, until next time.